Good evening. You're watching Cable Pulse 24. I'm Pam Seidel. Here's what's making news right now. Our roads are a mess tonight, and the worst is yet to come. A heavy snowfall warning has been issued for the GTA and much of the rest of southern Ontario. And a winter storm watch is also in effect. With more, we're going live to Queen Street and Harold Hossain. What a mess out there, Harold.
Well, Pam, as you can see, the snow is coming down, and it seems as though our friends at Environment Canada just woke up, because a little after 9 o'clock, they finally issued a winter storm warning for the area, talking about the same 20 to 30 centimeters that we've been talking about since last Friday. Anyway, about 20 centimeters will fall around the western end, around the GTA, pardon me, and here on our traffic cameras, you can see that it is slowing down traffic considerably. Now, the snow has started to intensify a little bit, and we'll find the visibility will be restricted as the morning hours ensue, especially after midnight until about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. That's when some of the heavier snow moves into around the western end of Lake Ontario. The wind has already begun to increase, gusting up to about 32 kilometers an hour now. And on our radar picture, you can see that slightly heavier snow in the yellow color coming in there over eastern Lake Erie and around the west end of Lake Ontario. The center of the main storm is just east of Chesapeake Bay on its way up towards Long Island, New York, where it should get to around 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And that means that's the time that we'll be feeding in a lot more Atlantic moisture into the secondary system, which is currently over southern Michigan. Now, between these two systems, 20 centimeters expected across the GTA through tonight and tomorrow, and 30 centimeters around the western end of Lake Ontario, where the lake input will be considerably higher. Now, if you're driving around overnight tonight, in the city of Toronto, there's a lot of melting occurring, but outside of the city, it is accumulating. Driving conditions will continue to be very, very slippery. The morning commute likely to be at least twice as long as normal. So give yourselves lots of extra time and expect visibility to be severely reduced at times. Pam?
I don't envy commuters tomorrow morning. Thank you, Harold. And let's check on those roads tonight. Let's go live next to Amber Pay in the Chum FM newsroom for a check. Amber, what a mess.
Yeah, it is quite a mess out there. Very sloppy, and of course, as Harold was saying, slippery as well. But overall, the traffic is light, so we're not really seeing too many problems, which is the good news. Let's take you first through our MTO cameras and have a look at the 403. Lots of snowfall coming down in this area, really slowing things down. And as I mentioned, it's better because it's lightly traveled out there. But certainly, I would only say only one lane would be getting through in either direction through here. Let's check out the 401 through Kiel, where the roads are mainly wet rather than snow covered. And I have to say that I've seen a lot of the salters and sanders out, and they're doing a great job because things have been relatively clear all evening long. Here we are through Kennedy, the Scarborough corridor, and again, traffic is moving along at a fairly decent rate, but please watch your speed out there. Watch out for the other guy, and watch out for the ramps and the bridges as well. They ice up really quickly. Over here through Whites Road, you can see off in the distance, it looks as though we do have a problem here on the westbound side. Obviously out of the way of the traffic flow, but certainly something to keep in mind that things can get very slick out there. Don Valley Parkway, both directions, no problems either way through the Lawrence Avenue exit. Down along the Gardner, again, wet road conditions, snow coming down, of course. Here we are through Spadina. Let's check it on the lakeshore, where it is more snow covered than it is along the Gardner Expressway right now, so be careful of that as well. It can be deceiving when you go to stop. Just west of Jameson now, both the Lakeshore and the Gardner Expressway moving along at a fairly decent rate. But again, please watch your speed out there. QEW, no problems there. But again, leave yourself a lot of time to get in tomorrow. Don't forget to top up the windshield washer fluid and really just take it easy tomorrow when you come in. I'll let Bob Summers handle the morning drive, though. I'm glad it's him and not me.
Yeah. You'll be sound asleep, safe and sound.
Out like a light.
Avoiding those roads. I have to admit, I'm glad I'm not commuting tomorrow morning as well.
We're lucky. And take public transportation, too. That's probably your best way to get around the city tomorrow.
Good advice, Amber. Thanks.
You're welcome.
And there's at least one cancellation to tell you about tonight due to the weather. The Durham Catholic School Board meeting set for tonight has been postponed due to the snowstorm. Meanwhile, at least one Toronto hotel, the Sutton Place, is offering reduced rates to commuters who'd rather stay in the city than risk the drive home. Keep it here on CP24 for updates on the winter weather and any cancellations. And of course, watch Toronto's New City Post tonight for the latest. And don't forget, tune in to BT first thing tomorrow morning. On our streets, Peel police hunting a sexual predator tonight after 3 women were victimized on public transit. 2 of the assaults happened in November of 2004 and 1 just this month. The victims were allegedly attacked after they boarded buses at Shoppers World in Brampton and traveled to Square One in Mississauga. The suspect is believed to be between 50 to 60 years old with balding gray hair. He's about 5'4" and 200 pounds. Investigators think there may be more victims who have not yet come forward. If you have information, contact the Peel Child Abuse and Sexual Assault Bureau or Crime Stoppers. Investigators are tonight looking into a freak accident that killed an Oakville factory worker. It happened over the lunch hour at Trimac Industries. A 26-year-old man died after he fell into a tank containing automotive paint residue.
Several other employees were able to pull him out of one of the tanks and heroically were attempting life-saving efforts. Members of the Halton Regional Police and Halton EMS responded and attempted to continue life-saving efforts. 2 members of the Halton Regional Police Service, along with the 2 members of Halton EMS, did suffer some of the effects of the fumes, and thankfully they did not require emergency medical treatment and were able to continue with their duties, and they'll be following up with their local doctors.
Halton police are working with Labour Ministry officials trying to figure out what went wrong. The victim's name has not yet been released. Toronto police have 1 suspect in custody and are looking for 3 others after an overnight murder, the last on Chief Julian Fantino's watch. Crime specialist Dwight Drummond has more.
We're concerned about public safety. We consider these people to be armed and dangerous, and we would not want to have either them or any other citizen injured or otherwise harmed in the manhunt that's now ongoing for them.
The city's latest murder victim, a man in his 20s whose identity investigators don't want to reveal yet. His neighbors on the usually quiet Bathurst Street building awakened overnight by the sound of gunshots.
I heard boom, 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 which was like, to me, it sounded like somebody had taken a lid of a garbage pail, like a metal one, and just was hitting against things for about, I'd say 30 seconds.
It really scares me, you know, it's like next apartment beside me.
Neighbors report hearing someone banging on this door demanding to be let in before the shooting. Police say they arrived at the building to spot suspects fleeing and took 1 into custody after a short chase. Even on his last day, Chief Fantino couldn't resist reminding everyone that if the Toronto Police Service had a helicopter, the other suspects might also have been caught.
The helicopter is nothing more than yet another tool in the toolbox that enables us to not only keep our communities safe, but also ensure that we prevent crime.
It's believed police recovered at least 1 handgun that was thrown from the window of a fleeing vehicle. And with 1 suspect in custody, they say it's only a matter of time before they find the others. At 6,000 Bathurst, Dwight Drummond, Cable Pulse 24.
For 36 years, policing was an everyday part of Julian Fantino's life. But tonight, he is a civilian after turning in his badge and closing a career that was at times controversial. Gord Martineau has more on Julian Fantino's last day.
Thank you very much.
Fantino's last day began with cheers from students who wanted to thank him for putting a crossing guard at their school. Fantino says turning in his badge and gun and saying goodbye to all his colleagues has been an emotional roller coaster.
It's just like leaving home. That's never easy. And but you know, you move on. There's other challenges and other opportunities.
Fantino to date not only closed out his career as Toronto's police chief, but also he caps off a 36-year career as a police officer. He says he never intended to be popular, and Fantino took a moment to take a shot at the media for portraying him as controversial.
If you don't want to be controversial, you say nothing, you do nothing, you be nothing, then there's no controversy. At the end of the day, my oath of office does not allow me to be a person to accommodate and facilitate all comers. I will, to the best of my ability, preserve the peace, prevent offenses, and discharge my other duties as chief of police.
But controversy has dogged Fantino since he was sworn in as chief 5 years ago. The gay community opposed his appointment because of comments he made while chief of police in London. Recently, the black community criticized him over the racial profiling issue. In a one-on-one interview the day he took over, Fantino told me he would not back down.
I'm not deterred from my mission, my oath of office, or my mandate simply because some people don't happen to like my law and order and commitment to public safety.
To his credit, Fantino worked hard to mend the fences. He went into the gay village to help open a dialogue there, and last week the Jamaican Canadian Association thanked him for his hard work. Fantino says he leaves with no regrets.
I leave proud. I leave fulfilled. I know that every day I came to work, I tried to do the right thing for the right reasons.
Fantino begins his new job as Ontario's emergency commissioner tomorrow morning. He says he will only give advice to his successor if he's asked to. For a look back at the highlights of Fantino's career as chief, check out our website, post24.com. Gord Martineau, Cable Post 24.
Time for a quick break next. Here on CP24, more news to come, including some dramatic opening statements at the Michael Jackson child molestation trial. Stay with us.
Done. Done? With Taxtron, it's done.
Always introduces an amazing dry weave that's softer than before, more like cotton. And Always Super Maxi pulls moisture away faster than the next leading brand, Super Maxi, to help keep you dry and comfortable. If you like the softness of cotton, you'll love new Always. Feel the new, softer top sheet on our clean weave regular and long panty liners, too.
Welcome back. Bloodshed in Iraq tonight as a suicide bomber unleashes the single deadliest attack there since the fall of Saddam Hussein. Ambulances rushed to the scene where a bomber drove a car into a crowd of police recruits lining up outside a government building. Many of those killed were shopping at a busy market across the street. The death toll tonight sits at 125. A positive prognosis from the Vatican tonight. Pope John Paul, who made a surprise appearance at his hospital window yesterday, is said to be recovering well after a tracheotomy. The 84-year-old pontiff is eating regularly and undergoing rehab to help his breathing and to help him regain his speech. Shocking details in the case against Michael Jackson revealed in a California courtroom today. In his opening statement, a prosecutor told the jury Jackson lured kids into his bedroom with alcohol and showed his accuser, a now 15-year-old cancer patient, pornographic websites. Prosecutors also claim Jackson's employees told the boy his mother would be killed if he said anything. The defense will argue Jackson is the victim of a money-hungry mother who coached her son to frame the pop star. Big money news next. A Thornhill man who won more than $8 million in Saturday's Lotto 649 says he's going to buy himself a pair of brown shoes. David Berger also plans to continue working. He and his wife Linda showed up at the Lottery Corporation offices today to claim their prize.
I just feel happy that I'll be able to provide for my kids right now. That's my biggest concern.
You're going to buy something crazy right away?
No. I'm talking about their future.
Yeah, but you're going to buy something tomorrow or the next day, yeah.
I was telling my wife I need a pair of brown shoes.
Real check here, and I'm going to hand that over to David and Linda. So you can both put a hand on that and...
Wow. Who cares?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's just not right. David bought the winning ticket at a smoke shop on Steeles Avenue in Concord Friday. On his way home from work, he spent $10 on tickets, buying 5 quick pick selections. They have 2 adult children at university. Time now for a check on tonight's unofficial lottery numbers. Remember, Cable Pulse 24 brings them to you every night at about this time, and you can check them anytime on our website at pulse24.com. We're joined now live by David Giles of the Ontario Lottery and Gaming Corporation. Hi, Dave.
Hello, Pam.
Well, some money got won over the weekend. Tell us all about the numbers and the jackpots for tonight and the rest of the week.
Well, as you can see, our jackpot on Saturday night on 649 was won, but we'll have another $4 million available on Wednesday night. But the Lotto Super 7 jackpot was not won. We're going to have $7.5 million available on Friday. So I'll get into tonight's numbers. On our draws today, we start with pick 3, 4, 6, 8. That's how our pick 3 balls fell. Then for the encore, we drew 5, 1, 0, 9, 7, 4, 7. And then for winner take all, we use a computer to pick that number to guarantee that 032926 was printed on a ticket today, bought in Toronto. It's worth $5,000. There's also our daily Keno winning numbers, but there's 20 of those, so please call 416-870-8946 to hear all those numbers. I'd like to point out a lady in North York, she won $25,000. She picked it up last week on playing daily Keno. This is David Giles reporting from the Ontario Lottery and Gaming Corporation. Back to Pam now.
Thank you, David. Check in with you tomorrow night.
Okay, good night.
Good night. Time for a break next. Here on Cable Pulse 24. More news still to come, including more on the winter storm watch. Stay with us.
Save the GST now for a limited time at Home Show. Buy direct from each of Home Show's 57 manufacturer showrooms and save the GST on all furniture, mattresses, and appliances. Use your Home Show club card and you'll save even more.
Revitalizer, detoxifier, volumizer, enriched with Liang Liang. Come on, the more stuff you put in your hair, the more gets left behind. Today's Per Plus 2-in-1 rinses clean. No unwanted residue, no buildup, leaving hair lighter and livelier than the best-selling separate shampoo and conditioning system. And without any Liang Liang. For lighter and livelier hair, Hurt Plus. Beat this system.
Honey, I want a plasma TV.
This could happen to you. In fact, to over 25 million of you. Here's a tip. When rolling, always be aware of those around you. Embraces may occur at any time. Brought to you by Tim Hortons. Roll up the rim to win with millions of available prizes. GMC Envoys, Panasonic Home Theaters, Coleman Camping Packages, cash and food prizes. Please win responsibly.
If you missed Toronto's #1 morning show...
Dave Ward had Dating for Dummies. He learned how to gaze into a woman's eyes. Yeah. Dave's gaze do anything for you?
Actually, it did.
Yeah.
He's a cutie.
And on the next BT...
We'll have a full look at the snowy streets.
And have breakfast with a billionaire, Sir Richard Branson.
Breakfast television weekdays at 6 a.m. Brought to you by Maxwell House Coffee.
Save the GST now for a limited time at Home Show. Buy direct from each of Home Show's 57 manufacturer showrooms and save the GST on all furniture, mattresses, and appliances. Use your Home Show club card and you'll save even more.
Welcome back. A full-fledged winter storm well underway out there tonight. Let's go live to Harold Hussein once again out on Queen Street for the latest. Harold.
Pam, the snow continues to fall and it's becoming increasingly heavier as we get more and more wind coming in off Lake Ontario. The wind now gusting up to 35 kilometers an hour. The temperature has been holding steady around 0, so even though it's been snowing now for about 6 hours, we're still getting quite a bit of melting, and of course the brine and the salt on the road is helping to keep the roads a little bit free of snow in the downtown core anyway. A look through our traffic camera shows you that visibility is becoming increasingly reduced, and we're getting a little more whitening of the ground outside of the city, so driving conditions will become slipperier as the night progresses. Now, after midnight, the snow will be noticeably heavier and will continue that way until the early hours of the morning. The center of the storm continues to deepen on the Atlantic seaboard, moving northeastwards now from just east of Chesapeake Bay and headed up towards Long Island, New York. Our radar picture showing heavier snow moving into eastern Lake Erie and western Lake Ontario regions. We're starting to see some Atlantic feeds streaming in across New York State and Pennsylvania, coming into southwestern Ontario. The secondary system is over southern Michigan, and the combination of the two will give us a total of about 20 centimeters of snowfall across the GTA and up to 30 centimeters around the western end of Lake Ontario. As the wind shifts into the northeast tomorrow, it'll be gusting up to 50 kilometers an hour. Dress for a wind chill of -15 tomorrow and expect the snow to taper off through flurries during the late afternoon or early evening hours, but flurries will continue on Wednesday, and as it becomes colder with a gusty northwest wind, it'll feel even colder with the wind chill on Wednesday. Back to you in the newsroom.
Sounds just lovely, Harold, thank you. Let's have a look at the snowy highways tonight around the GTA. As we told you earlier, at least one cancellation tonight due to the weather. The Durham Catholic School Board meeting set for tonight has been postponed due to the snowstorm. Meanwhile, at least one Toronto hotel is offering reduced rates to commuters who would rather stay in the city than risk the drive home. Keep it here on CP24 for updates on the winter weather and any cancellations. And watch Toronto's News City Post tonight for the latest. The snow is already coming down, but this is just a taste of what's to come. How you feel about it depends on who you are. Chris Reyes with that story tonight.
You're one of the few people looking forward to the snowstorm.
That's right, exactly.
Tell me why.
Because I can use a smaller kite, more wind, get to go a little bit faster, and get to jump higher too.
A snowstorm may be brewing, but we found a scene stolen from summer. Paul Berube plans to sail right through the storm on this contraption. But what exactly is he doing?
Well, this is called snow kiting. And you can do it on skis or on a snowboard.
20 centimeters of snow, that's what the city is expecting in the next few days. Something a snow glider might appreciate, but it's something the city has to be very prepared for.
And we know something like this is coming in. We'll go over the equipment, make sure everything's fueled up, all the gear is ready to run, no problems.
About 1,000 snow plows, 200 salt trucks, 1,500 city workers are ready to hit the streets to take on the snow. But the city could also use your help.
A lot of people tend to shovel their snow and that back onto the street after it's been plowed. I know it's depressing when your driveways get plowed in, but if they can just keep it to the side. I run a lead plow on the Gardner, and people still try and race past you. It's not safe. Besides making sure your vehicle's running good and prepared for the weather. Otherwise, stay off the roads.
Paul Berube is planning to stay off the roads. Just don't ask him to get off his skis. People aren't looking forward to this. You're saying it's not that bad.
No, it's great. I love it.
I'm Chris Reyes for Cable Pulse 24.
Looks like fun. Time for a quick break next here on CP24. More storm watch updates throughout the night and the latest from Dave Gary when we come back.
Always introduces an amazing dry weave that's softer than before, more like cotton. And Always Super Maxi pulls moisture away faster than the next leading brand, Super Maxi, to help keep you dry and comfortable. If you like the softness of cotton, you'll love new Always. Feel the new, softer top sheet on our clean weave regular and long panty liners, too.
You destroyed Mrs. Martin's barn by accident?
Great!
crazy! 11-year-old Daniel needed a miracle, and he found it in a dog. Daniel and the Super Dogs, inspired by a true story, winner of 3 International Film Festival Awards, and co-starring the world-famous Super Dogs. Daniel and the Super Dogs is the must-see family movie of 2005. Visit DanielAndTheSuperDogs.com, enter your favorite dog photo, and win fabulous doggy prizes.
Somehow, all of the people that drive slowly in the left lane, the cops just don't seem to bother. But what they fail to realize is the people in those lanes really get the people that want to get where they're going really ticked off. I think the police should be policing the people driving in that left lane very, very slowly. That is what causes a lot of the problems. The handbook states that the right lane is for the slower drivers, and that's where they should stay. Now, when they pull over to the left lane and they're driving very slowly and people have to get around them, that is how accidents happen. And I think that's what the cops need to police a lot better.
That ends this half hour on Cable Pulse 24. Your next live news update is straight ahead. We'll leave you with the latest from Dave Gary.
Ja, guten Tag. Bonjour.
I love you.
Are you married? What's your anniversary date? Women can come up with it like that, but men, for men, that's one of the great challenges of a marriage, is to remember that wedding date. It's not that we don't think it's significant, it's just that there's some kind of glitch in the male memory bank, and it can get us into a lot of trouble.
What's your wedding anniversary?
The 27th of September.
Year?
74.
75.
75, sorry. You're out.
Sorry.
I saw a story out of Holland that said a record number of couples are applying to be married this May 20th. Apparently, this date, 20/05/2005, is an easy one for men to remember. And it's women that are pushing for this because they want to give their men all the help they can get.
What's your anniversary date?
I don't know.
What's your wedding date?
Oh, it's a long time ago.
Yeah, I know.
What year?
50 years. That's 90.
Don't help him.
Under 54?
No.
50. See the nudge? She gave you the nudge.
Yeah, 55.
Yeah.
It's hard to remember, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is July 30th.
You mean you want the actual year we were married?
Don't fudge around. Just give me the date. Because that would be the date your life changed.
That's
from
right.
really tragic loneliness to everything a man
No,
could
that'd be
want.
December 16th. That's when we first started going out.
Oh.
Isn't he nice?
You're going to get some.
We're on holidays.
I love you.
That was the worst day ever.
We need some comfort food.
You think Special K cereal is comfort food?
Hello, it's new Special K vanilla almond.
Exactly.
Smell that.
Vanilla.
Look, honey roasted almonds. It's like dessert.
It's actually low in fat and 110 calories per bowl.
But it tastes so good. Sorry.
Stay on track with new Special K vanilla almond cereal, a tasty way to keep it simple.
Could you stand behind the line, please? Next. Empty your pockets, ma'am. Aussie 3-minute miracle with tea tree oil. Sounds like a plant product to me. I'll be back in a minute. Make that 3.
Aussie 3-minute miracle has natural Australian tea tree oil and helps restore moisture to damaged hair in just 3 minutes.
Any other plant products you'd like to declare?
The whole Aussie line is worth confiscating.
Hi, Ontario. We've hit the streets to see if you can guess Canada's lowest price on this.
47-inch Panasonic high-definition TV.
You want me to guess?
How much it costs?
Something like $6,800.
$6,800. That is really wrong.
Canada's lowest price, $17.98.
Wow.
Are you shocked?
I'm shocked.
Who's better than Bad Boy?
No way.
The news continues here on Cable Pulse 24. I'm Pam Seidel. Here's what's making news right now. Our roads are a nightmare tonight, and the worst is yet to come. A heavy snowfall warning has been issued for the GTA and much of the rest of southern Ontario, and a winter storm watch is also in effect. With more, we go live to Queen Street with Harold, who was right in the thick of it. Harold.
Oh, well, Pam, as you can see, the snow continues. I'm estimating that since it started earlier this afternoon, we've had about a 5-centimeter snowfall. About half of that has melted already, the temperature holding steady around 0. But the wind has been increasing, and it will continue to increase over the next several hours. The snowfall rate will also increase, so the visibility will be reduced. Here's a look now at what's happening around the city. You can see the visibility reducing there and the heavier snowfall. Still only a small accumulation, but very, very slippery conditions. This snow contains a lot of water, so it is melting partially. Now, as the morning hours proceed after midnight, the wind will be increasing, the rate of fall will increase, so your morning commute will likely be twice as long as normal. And this will taper off to flurries tomorrow afternoon. A look at our radar picture showing slightly heavier snow moving up over the eastern end of Lake Erie and the western end of Lake Ontario. The wind now gusting off Lake Ontario to about 35 kilometers an hour. That will bring in a wind chill, so for the morning hours, dress for a wind chill of -15. But in the afternoon, the wind shifts into the northeast and will be gusting to closer to 50 kilometers an hour, so wind chills will be around -20. The total snowfall amount expected is about 20 centimeters across the GTA, and as the wind comes in off the lake around the western end of Lake Ontario, Mississauga, Oakville, Burlington, Hamilton can expect about 30 centimeters. Now, in addition to that, on Wednesday, we have the wind coming off Georgian Bay and Lake Huron. That could bring in another 5 centimeters on Wednesday with even colder temperatures. So it's going to be a fun morning getting into work and school. Pam?
I can hardly wait. Thank you, Harold. Let's have a look at the snowy highways tonight around the GTA. And at least one cancellation tonight due to the weather. The Durham Catholic School Board meeting set for tonight was postponed due to the snowstorm. Meanwhile, at least one Toronto hotel, the Sutton Place, is offering reduced rates to commuters who'd rather stay in the city than risk the drive home. Keep it here on CP24 for updates on the winter weather and any cancellations. And watch Toronto's News City Pulse tonight for the latest. And of course, tune in to BT first thing in the morning. On our streets, Peel police hunting a sexual predator tonight after 3 women were victimized on public transit. 2 of the assaults happened in November of 2004 and 1 just this month. The incidents allegedly occurred as the women rode buses from Brampton to Mississauga. The suspect's believed to be between 50 to 60 years old with balding gray hair. He's about 5'4" and 200 pounds. Investigators think there may be more victims who have not come forward. If you have information, contact the Peel Child Abuse and Sexual Assault Bureau or Crime Stoppers. Investigators are on the scene of a freak accident tonight that killed an Oakville factory worker. It happened over the lunch hour at Trimac Industries in Oakville. A 26-year-old died after he fell into a tank containing automotive paint residue.
Several other employees were able to pull him out of one of the tanks and heroically were attempting life-saving efforts. Members of the Halton Regional Police and Halton EMS responded and attempted to continue life-saving efforts. Two members of the Halton Regional Police Service, along with the two members of Halton EMS, did suffer some of the effects of the fumes, and thankfully they did not require emergency medical treatment and were able to continue with their duties, and they'll be following up with their local doctors.
Halton police are working with Labour Ministry officials trying to figure out what went wrong. Toronto police have one suspect in custody tonight and are looking for 3 others after an overnight murder, the last on Chief Julian Fantino's watch. Crime specialist Dwight Drummond has more on the 3 gunmen.
We're concerned about public safety. We consider these people to be armed and dangerous, and we would not want to have either them or any other citizen injured or otherwise harmed in the manhunt that's now ongoing for them.
The city's latest murder victim, a man in his 20s whose identity investigators don't want to reveal yet. His neighbors on the usually quiet Bathurst Street building awakened overnight by the sound of gunshots.
I heard boom, 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 which was like, to me, it sounded like somebody had taken a lid of a garbage pail, like a metal one, and just was hitting against things for about, I'd say 30 seconds.
It really scares me, you know, it's like next apartment beside me.
Neighbors report hearing someone banging on this door demanding to be let in before the shooting. Police say they arrived at the building to spot suspects fleeing and took one into custody after a short chase. Even on his last day, Chief Fantino couldn't resist reminding everyone that if the Toronto Police Service had a helicopter, the other suspects might also have been caught.
The helicopter is nothing more than yet another tool in the toolbox that enables us to not only keep our community safe, but also ensure that we prevent crime.
It's believed police recovered at least 1 handgun that was thrown from the window of a fleeing vehicle. And with 1 suspect in custody, they say it's only a matter of time before they find the others. At 6,000 Bathurst, Dwight Drummond, Cable Pulse 24.
At Queen's Park, excuse me, politicians are getting ready to pass a law banning pit bulls in Ontario. The opposition is arguing that Bill 132 will not stop vicious dog attacks. As Alex Pearson tells us tonight, they aren't opposed to changing current ownership laws. They just want them to make sense.
We're not going to back down. We're not going to back down because we believe that this bill is about public safety. We believe that this bill will make our communities safer.
The Attorney General says Ontarians will be safer by banning this breed. His critics disagree.
You've got a flawed bill. You could have made a good bill. You could have listened to all the people that came before us and gave testimony, and you have not.
I believe the Attorney General has put forth a message that he's solving the problem, which is actually misleading the public, because nothing is going to change after the bill's passed. There'll still be pit bulls out on the street. There'll still be the problem with enforcement. There'll still be bad dog owners.
The bill expected to be passed here tomorrow will mean any pit bull, staff terrier, or any dog that resembles a pit bull must be registered, spayed or neutered, and leashed and muzzled in public at all times. But it will also give police officers and animal control officers the overriding power to enter any home and seize any dog deemed dangerous. More than 100 people, including dog experts, spoke at public hearings in January. 80% opposed Bryant's bill, urging him to amend the bill to make all dog owners responsible for any type of vicious dog. None were adopted. Don't lick me. I gotta go into.
We'll give her a big kiss.
So what if you're a dog owner who doesn't own a pit bull, but a dog that just looks like one?
She could be a pit. She is caught in the crossfire because I have to treat her like a pit bull, because if I go somewhere and she's accused of being a pit bull, I can't prove that she's not.
Mike Martin got Sydney at a Hamilton shelter. She was adopted as an Akita, but several vets have since ID'd her as an Akita, Australian Shepherd, Husky, Lab, and yes, a pit bull. She's never bitten anyone, but he believes she's now a target.
If he knew anything about bite statistics, if he knew anything about who is getting hurt and how these things happen, then he'd know that what he's proposed isn't making the changes that
Despite opposition, Bryant says he's speaking for people like Louise Ellis, whose daughter Lauren came face-to-face with a pit bull and has the scars to prove his bill's value. I believe that Bill 132 will make people in Ontario safer from dog attacks.
Absolutely not. It comes down to who the owners are and how they've trained their dogs. It has nothing to do with the breed.
Alex Pearson for Cable Pulse 24.
Time for a quick break next here on CP24. More news to come, including the latest on the search for a missing Florida girl. Stay with us.
Always introduces an amazing dry weave that's softer than before, more like cotton. And Always Super Maxi pulls moisture away faster than the next leading brand, Super Maxi, to help keep you dry and comfortable. If you like the softness of cotton, you'll love new Always. Feel the new, softer top sheet on our clean weave regular and long panty liners, too.
I'm Krista.
And I'm Eric.
And this is our Ford Freestar. It's sporty. That's what I wanted. I take the highway a lot for our business. I prefer the 407, but he's too cheap.
It's a good, solid vehicle. It drives smooth, it's quiet.
It has pickup like you wouldn't believe. The conversation mirror, which I call the Kids U mirror. They can't get away with anything. This is a really nice console. It's great to have a hide-and-go seat. It's just a very versatile vehicle. We love our Ford Freestar.
Welcome back. Bloodshed in Iraq tonight as a suicide bomber unleashes the single deadliest attack there since the fall of Saddam Hussein. Ambulances rushed to the scene where a bomber drove a car into a crowd of police recruits lining up outside a government building. Many of those killed were shopping at a busy market across the street. The death toll tonight sits at 125. Still in the Middle East, thousands of protesters in Lebanon cheered wildly today as the country's pro-Syrian government collapsed. The resignation comes 2 weeks after a car bomb killed former Prime Minister Rafik al-Hariri, who opposed Syria's presence in the country. A positive prognosis from the Vatican tonight. Pope John Paul, who made a surprise appearance at his hospital window yesterday, is said to be recovering well after a tracheotomy. The 84-year-old pontiff is eating regularly and undergoing rehab to help his breathing and to help him regain his speech. Stateside, a guilty plea tonight from the man accused of killing an aspiring Mississauga porn star. Photographer Anthony Frederick faces up to 51 years in prison for stabbing Natal King at a suburban Philadelphia studio. The 23-year-old who used the stage name Taylor Summers was killed last year, apparently over money after a photo shoot. Her body was found a month later in a ravine. In Florida, the search continues through woods and a marshland for a missing 9-year-old Jessica Marie Lunsford. She vanished from her bedroom last Wednesday night. Police say there was no sign of forced entry at the home, but the front door was unlocked. A $25,000 reward has been offered in the case. Shocking details of the case against Michael Jackson revealed in a California courtroom today. In his opening statement, a prosecutor told the jury Jackson lured kids into his bedroom with alcohol and showed his accuser, a now 15-year-old cancer patient, pornographic websites. Prosecutors also claim Jackson's employees told the boy his mother would be killed if he said anything. The defense will argue Jackson is the victim of a money-hungry mother who coached her son to frame the pop star. It's Monday, and that means it's Market Sense Day with CP24 business producer BJ Del Conte, who took in today's seminar at the TSX.
The RSP season is just about to end, and it's amazing. The other day I read a survey, you might have seen that, where it also showed that people find selecting mutual funds actually more painful than going to a dentist.
Time is running out for you to take advantage of the last great Canadian tax break. That would be your RRSP. Now, a lot of people go the easiest route is to buy mutual funds to top them up. But which ones to buy, how long to hold on to them, that's the point of today's Market Sense session at the TSX.
BJ, there's a whole bunch of things they should be looking at. You know, what we find is, of course, investors understandably tend to just focus in on the latest returns, but that truly is not the way to go. Absolutely, before you're looking for a decent mutual fund, you have to zero in on returns, look at the absolute returns as well as the relative returns compared to the competition or the category averages. But definitely, every single investor should focus their attention on risk. Extremely important, because risk and returns, of course, go hand in hand. But as I say, we find most investors tend to just look at the returns and ignore risk, and that's truly not the way to go when you're investing in a mutual fund.
How do you make your decision as to what to buy?
So mostly using the websites like Globe Investor or Morningstar, and like I select the best funds, and whatever Randy Chang said, I use his theory as well.
It's rather difficult to decide. I do not totally believe in mutual funds that he's talking about, because most of them have a history of only 5 years. There have been a lot of mergers and very little information available of funds over 10 years.
We're looking at funds we've got at least a minimum of a 5-year track record, particularly for core products. And here, the reason I look at minimum of 5-year data, it gives us a lot of information statistically that we can work with. I mean, I can see how is the fund done during a bear market period? How did the fund do during the bull market period? How did the fund's performance react, say, during an economic downturn or during the expansionary phase of the economy? What about interest rates? So it's those kinds of information we can get when you have a good 5-year track record, preferably even a 10-year track record. That's why we start off, the very first part of our analysis is we're looking for funds with a minimum of a 5-year track record. Because as I said, that gives us enough quantitative information to be able to make a decent judgment. Now, the heavy hitter, basically what it is it's a fund with a minimum of a 5-year track record that has demonstrated its ability over both the short term and the long term to deliver above average rates of returns relative to its category, but more equally importantly, with below average risk relative to its category. That's why I'm always saying you have to look at both risk and return. You cannot look at one without looking at the other.
If you're thinking of buying mutual funds, it's important to get the big picture, get the long picture. Don't just chase immediate past performance. You've got to factor in risk and return and do your research. From the TSX Broadcasting Conference Center, I'm BJ Del Conte, Cable Pulse 24.
Time for a short break next, but first a look at tonight's unofficial lottery numbers. Remember, we bring them to you here on Cable Pulse 24 every night. Here they are now. Good luck.
Want younger-looking skin in just 14 days? Revlon introduces age-defying makeup now with Bodifirm. Reduce the appearance of lines up to 50% in 2 weeks. Featuring Bodifirm, a patented blend of hexapeptide and botanicals. Gorgeous, flawless coverage, so your skin looks smoother, firmer, more radiant. New age-defying makeup with Bodifirm. From Revlon.
GMC Envoy.
This could happen to you. In fact, to over 25 million of you. Here's a tip. When rolling, always ensure at least an arm's length perimeter of space around you. Brought to you by Tim Hortons Roll Up the Rim to Win with millions of available prizes. GMC Envoys, Panasonic Home Theaters, Coleman Camping Packages, cash and food prizes. Please win responsibly.
Yes!
Revitalizer, detoxifier, volumizer, enriched with Liang Liang. Come on, the more stuff you put in your hair, the more gets left behind. Today's Per Plus 2-in-1 rinses clean. No unwanted residue, no buildup, leaving hair lighter and livelier than the best-selling separate shampoo and conditioning system. And without any Liang Liang. For lighter and livelier hair, Hurt Plus. Beat the system.
Tonight, your verdict on the pit bull ban. Will the legislation effectively reduce dog attacks? The results of our day-long phone poll on Toronto's News City Pulse tonight.
You work for the devil.
City TV Sunday.
I want the power to help them. To save their souls.
The devil is real. The Collector, 8 Sunday on City.
Welcome back. A full-bore winter storm well underway out there tonight. Let's go live once again to Harold Hossein out on Queen Street for the latest. Harold.
Well, Pam, a heavy snowfall warning in effect for the GTA and surrounding areas. The center of the storm just east of Chesapeake Bay, moving northwards towards Long Island, New York, feeding in Atlantic moisture to another center that's over southern Michigan. Take a look now at what's happening on our streets and highways around, and you can see as the snow comes down, the visibility is being reduced. The wind is increasing off Lake Ontario, so expect the visibility to be reduced even further. The snow will be heavy at times, and we'll have several centimeters on the ground by the time you're heading off to work and school tomorrow morning, so the commute will be very, very slow, likely at least twice as long as normal under good conditions. Now, the snow will be tapering off to flurries by tomorrow evening. A look at our radar picture showing heavier snow over the eastern half of Lake Erie and the western half of Lake Ontario as the wind continues to come in off Lake Ontario. We've seen on another radar picture that heavier bands of snow are coming in off the Atlantic now all the way back to southern Ontario, and that's where the accumulation will be increasing over the next several hours. Now, by the time you're heading off to work in the morning, there should be easily 10 centimeters on the ground. The total snowfall expected is 20 centimeters for the GTA, and around the western end of Lake Ontario, where the wind shifts into the northeast, we'll have up to 30 centimeters accumulating, along with lots of blowing and drifting snow tomorrow. Dress for a wind chill of -15 as you're heading off in the morning. By tomorrow night, we'll have to dress for wind chills of -20. The wind will be out of the northeast by tomorrow afternoon, gusting up to 50 kilometers an hour, and it'll still be windy and cold on Wednesday with more flurries. Lots of fun. Leave lots of extra time for commuting. Pam.
That's it. I'm staying home. Thank you, Harold. As we told you earlier, at least one cancellation tonight due to the weather. The Durham Catholic School Board meeting set for tonight was postponed due to the snowstorm. Meanwhile, at least one Toronto hotel, the Sutton Place, is offering reduced rates to commuters who'd rather stay in the city than risk the drive home. Watch Toronto's new City Post tonight for the latest, and tune in to BT first thing in the morning. Time for a quick break next. Here on CP24, Harold will be back for City Post tonight at 11 for another Storm Watch update. The latest from Fashion Television when we come back.
Could you stand behind the line, please? Next. Empty your pockets, ma'am. Aussie 3-minute miracle with tea tree oil. Sounds like a plant product to me. I'll be back in a minute. Make that 3.
Aussie 3-minute miracle has natural Australian tea tree oil and helps restore moisture to damaged hair in just 3 minutes.
Any other plant products you'd like to declare?
The whole Aussie line is worth confiscating.
New hot, fresh toasted subs are here. Like the bacon, turkey, and ham double cheese melt. Toasted hot inside and out. Subway. Eat fresh.
That ends this half hour on Cable Pulse 24. Toronto's news, City Post tonight is straight ahead. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Saint-Martin, and this is a Maison de Jean-Paul Gaultier. Gaultier has always given us sensational couture shows in the past few seasons that he has begun doing couture, and now with the help of Hermes money, because of course you know he is the designer for Hermes, he seems to be forging ahead and is as inspired as ever. Bonjour. Just do this.
never kind of contemplated wearing an afro for couture, but there you go.
He's got Africa on the brain this time around. Was it a result of a trip to Africa?
Not at all. It's a result to a trip in his imagination.
Is there a strong sense of drama to what you're doing today?
In the way that Africa is very dramatic. So it's Africa, but Africa, the white woman become black. So it's not like black skin. It's like only they have afro hair, and there is inspiration about like the statue and the thing like that, even on the dress, on a lot of things that are like from different tribe of Africa.
Gaultier is the most creative of the couturiers. He is extraordinary. The African touches and the color and the beads and the faces on the dresses. I thought the faces on the dresses were great.
How do you feel about Gaultier celebrating this exotic African spirit?
I think it's nice. I think he always, you know, you never know where he's going to go, which direction, but he really takes you on that journey.
You have such a feel for exoticism, always, really.
Always. Métissage, you know, mixing of different culture. That's what I love.
You must have been living quite a life in your former life, I think probably somewhere in the jungle or something.
Possible. Maybe, no, I think I was an animal.
I think you're still an animal.
I hope so.
A beast. Thank you. We'll see you after the show. Thank you so much.
Boxing Day savings are back at the Brick. Everything is on sale. The biggest sellers, the top brand names, the very best deals. Plus, you don't pay for 15 months with no payments and no interest on all furniture, mattresses, and appliances. Now till Wednesday only.
I buy your jewelry. Hello, I'm Russell Oliver of Oliver Jewelry, and I pay cash for your used jewelry. I pay top dollar for your diamonds. I've been buying and evaluating jewelry for over 25 years. I pay the highest prices for Rolex and Cartier watches. I even pay cash for your old broken gold. So don't wait. Go now to your drawer, jewelry box, or safety deposit box. Come on down to Oliver's. Have fun. Let's make a deal. Your used jewelry for my cash.
You are master of the toilet, lord of the loo. Well, almost. Do you need me, sweetie? Don't worry. Now there's Pampers Can-Do Moist Toilet Wipes, designed especially for children. Simply wipe and flush away. And for royally clean hands, there's Can-Do Foaming Hand Soap. By the time you're done, you'll be king of the throne.
Can do it too with Can-Do.
Our CoverGirl in Paradise said moisturizing lipsticks do feel nice, but do they last? Not so fast. Discover new Smooth Wear, the luscious, lasting new lip color from CoverGirl. A rich color coat for sensuous color, sealed with a conditioning top coat. Seal in the moisture, seal in the feel. It's 8-hour color you don't have to reapply. You're luscious, no matter who drops by. Moisture-rich new Smooth Wear from Easy Breezy, beautiful CoverGirl.
Boxing Day savings are back at the Brick. Everything is on sale. This fabulous leather sofa just $4.99. 700-watt microwave below cost, only $48. Plus, you don't pay for 15 months. Now till Wednesday only. Nobody beats the Brick.
Toronto's news is now #1 in Canada. City Pulse, 2004 Gemini Award winner for Best Newscast.
Mother Nature being a bit of a flake tonight. Heavy snowfall warning has been issued for Toronto, and before this storm's over, the city and GTA could see more than 20 centimeters on the ground. Good evening and rest up. If you're driving to work in the morning, you'll want to leave early. It's going to be a mess out there. Chris live preparing for the snow. Chris.
Alex, it's pretty busy here at the salt yards on Commissioners, and it's because of all this snow. And this is just the beginning. It's been steadily snowing for about 7 hours now, but there's more to come. Not to worry, though, the city's prepared. Their fleet of snow clearing equipment is ready and pumped to face the storm head on. Clearing the snow's a dirty job, but someone's got to do it. In this case, it's Steve Titterton, working 13 hours a day. What do you expect the next few days to be like?
It's going to be busy, and we're going to be tired soon, but not till it's over.
Residents are trying to do their part, like Graham Gillette, who's getting a head start on shoveling.
We have responsibility just to clean the sidewalk and the pathway, and whoever gets home first gets the job, gets the shovel.
So how do you fight a snowstorm with about 1,000 snow plows, 200 salt trucks, and a staff of 1,500 people? But even with a fleet of trucks clearing the snow, drivers are still in for a challenging commute. So the city's advising them to take public transit instead. Are you going to be going into work driving tomorrow?
No, I'm going to be taking the TTC tomorrow. By the time I dig out and everything, I think it'll take me a little while.
If you are planning to take the TTC and leave your car at home, try not to park it on the street. It'll help make the city's job clearing the snow much easier. Other ways to make the city's job easier: shovel snow onto your lawn, not the road, and take it easy driving, especially around snowplow trucks.
A lot of people tend to shovel their snow and that back onto the street after it's been plowed. I know it's depressing when your driveways get plowed in, but if they can just keep it to the side.
The city expects to spend about $3 million cleaning up after the storm. Included on that bill, the 7,000 to 8,000 tons of salt that they expect to use in the next few days. And take it from me, try to stay inside. Live from Commissioners, I'm Chris Reyes. Now back to the newsroom.
Good advice. Okay, Chris. This winter storm is one of the big ones, and there may not be any relief until midweek. Let's go live now to Harold, who's been tracking the system. Harold.
Alex, this is going to be a long, drawn-out storm. I've been telling you about this storm since last week, and we've been saying 20 centimeters for the GTA and 30 centimeters around the western end of Lake Ontario. We've got about 5 centimeters down in the last 6 or 7 hours. It'll continue to fall at the rate of about 1 centimeter an hour for at least the next 10 to 12 hours and taper off the flurries tomorrow afternoon into the evening hours. The wind shifts into the northeast tomorrow and gusts about 50 kilometers an hour. The flurries continue tomorrow night and into Wednesday with a gusty northwest wind. So, allow extra time for the morning commute. Make sure you dress for a wind chill of -15 tomorrow morning and -20 by tomorrow night. And expect 20 centimeters across the GTA, a whole lot more around the western end of Lake Ontario. A look at our radar picture shows that heavier snow is indeed moving into the eastern end of Lake Erie and the western portions of Lake Ontario. That's feeding in straight from the Atlantic. I'll tell you more about the storm a little bit later. It's great for making snowballs, though. Alex?
Okay, Harold. In other news, Halton Police and the Labor Ministry investigating tonight after a deadly industrial mishap in Oakville. Around noon today, an employee of Trimac Industries was overcome by fumes and fell into a tank of automotive paint residue.
Several other employees were able to pull him out of one of the tanks and heroically were attempting life-saving efforts. Members of the Halton Regional Police and Halton EMS responded and attempted to continue life-saving efforts, and the young man was taken to Oakville Trafalgar Hospital where he was pronounced dead.
2 paramedics and 2 Halton police officers also felt ill because of the fumes, but did not have to go to hospital. The 26-year-old victim's name has not been released. The time for talking is over when it comes to Ontario's controversial pit bull ban. The debate over Bill 132 may have wrapped up tonight, but both the critics and the government say they won't back down.
We're not going to back down. We're not going to back down because we believe that this bill is about public safety. We believe that this bill will make our communities safer.
The Attorney General says Ontarians will be safer by banning this breed. His critics disagree.
You've got a flawed bill. You could have made a good bill. You could have listened to all the people that came before us and gave testimony, and you have not.
I believe the Attorney General has put forth a message that he's solving the problem, which is actually misleading the public, because nothing is going to change after the bill's passed. There'll still be pit bulls out on the street. There'll still be the problem with enforcement. There'll still be bad dog owners.
The bill expected to be passed here tomorrow will mean any pit bull, staff terrier, or any dog that resembles a pit bull must be registered, spayed or neutered, and leash and muzzled in public at all times. But it will also give police officers and animal control officers the overriding power to enter any home and seize any dog deemed dangerous. More than 100 people, including dog experts, spoke at public hearings in January. 80% opposed Bryant's bill, urging him to amend the bill to make all dog owners responsible for any type of vicious dog. None were adopted.
We'll give her a big kiss.
So what if you're a dog owner who doesn't own a pit bull, but a dog that just looks like one?
She could be a pit. She is caught in the crossfire because I have to treat her like a pit bull, because if I go somewhere and she's accused of being a pit bull, I can't prove that she's not.
Mike Martin got Sydney at a Hamilton shelter. She was adopted as an Akita, but several vets have since ID'd her as an Akita, Australian Shepherd, Husky, Lab, and yes, a pit bull. She's never bitten anyone, but he believes she's now a target.
If he knew anything about bite statistics, if he knew anything about who is getting hurt and how these things happen, then he'd know that what he's proposed isn't making the changes that...
Despite opposition, Bryant says he's speaking for people like Louise Ellis, whose daughter Lauren came face-to-face with a pit bull and has the scars to prove his bill's value. Do you believe that Bill 132 will make people in Ontario safer from dog attacks?
Absolutely not. It comes down to who the owners are and how they've trained their dogs. It has nothing to do with the breed.
The vote is expected to take place tomorrow. The ban has not only sparked heated debate at Queen's Park, but has also lit up our phone lines. We open our phone poll to get your views on this issue. 1,127 of you are in favor of the ban. 2,671 are against a breed-specific ban. The poll isn't scientific, but it does represent the views of our viewers. Final vote again on the pit bull ban goes tomorrow in the legislature. For a look at what some other countries have dealt with the breed, you can check out our website, pulse24.com. We're going to go live now to Sharon next to city councillors get ready to pull an all-nighter to balance the budget. Sharon.
Well, Alex, it's day 6 of the budget debate and still no final word on the approval until Tuesday morning. Tonight, not all councillors are willing to cut their own perks to spare you a tax break.
Now, please be quiet, Calray, and sit down.
Okay, councillors.
If you don't want to listen to us, just leave.
Counselor.
I'm really tired of listening to your nonsense.
Counselors. Wait just a second. I'm calling a roll call, please, so we can get everybody here.
There's nobody sitting at their seats, and they all voted to finish this budget. Well, sit down then and listen, everybody.
Though council chambers can seem like a zoo, especially during budget time, it was Councillor Ford who set forth most of the motions tonight aimed at saving taxpayer dollars by cutting back on councillor perks, like this VIP pass to the Toronto Zoo.
I guess it goes back just to the average taxpayer out there doesn't get it. Why should we?
Oh, just tonight I put, I think, 40 on the table. I put over 90 motions in the last 6 days of council, saving the taxpayers, of course, to $250 billion, $250 million, and it was all just councillor perks and stuff like this, and they just shot me down.
And either we act like a collection of mud huts, or we act like a city.
So I guess you didn't say no to saying goodbye to some of those perks.
I said keep them all. They have been in the budget for many years, but there are some members of council who remind me of the previous provincial government that did not believe in government.
And though Councillor Ford's motions got a few chuckles from council, including Mayor Miller, he says the $47 million shortfall Toronto is facing is no laughing matter.
We're looking for, what was the mayor saying, $70 million. He's blaming the province, he's blaming everyone else. We have more than enough. We have a spending problem, a severe spending problem in the city, not a revenue problem. And I just proved it. I just proved it, sat there, and I just proved it over and over and over again, and they just laugh and laugh and laugh and blame everyone else.
So what do you think of Toronto City Councillors voting to keep their perks while deciding on how much to raise your taxes? Here is what some of you had to say.
I think it sucks. I think, you know, all these people living luxurious lives on taxpayers' money. I see half my check going to the taxes. It's not good, you know?
I completely disagree with that. Everyone's losing money right now, and I don't see why they should be able to keep their perks.
That's just wrong. I mean, if you're going to raise the taxes, at least you should cut back on your perks.
They should cut back. If they're picking the guy's pocket, you know, the poor man's pocket, Mr. Everyman, if his pockets are being picked, well, you know, come on, cut back.
Well, the city is short $47 million. If they vote for a 3% tax hike, homeowners will pay $60. If that vote is 5%, well, they'll be paying $100. Live from City Hall, I'm Sharon Navarro. Now back to the newsroom.
Okay, Sharon. To the streets next, and police need help tonight in the city's latest murder. Around 2 this morning, gunshots rang out inside an apartment on Bathurst near Finch. A man in his 20s is dead. Toronto's 11th murder victim this year. At this point, police aren't releasing his name.
And then I heard boom, 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 which was like, to me, it sounded like somebody had taken a lid of a garbage pail, like a metal one, and just was hitting against things for about, I'd say 30 seconds to a minute.
Well, it was scary. It's my first time. I had never heard I'd never been in a situation like this, but well, it's scary. It would scare everyone, I guess.
Suspects were fleeing when police arrived. One was arrested after a driver hit a stop sign and led police on a short foot chase. Call Homicide or Crime Stoppers if you know anything about this case. A $50,000 reward is available tonight if you can help police solve the murder of a child. In November of 2003, Emily Lucas died in hospital 10 days after paramedics found her unconscious and not breathing in a home near Jane and Steeles. She died just shy of her 3rd birthday, a couple of months after she was taken from her aunt and returned to her birth mother.
Please, please, if you know something about her, please come forward to the police. Because she was so little and so innocent, and she didn't deserve this. I mean, when she was with us, she was so happy.
Investigators say they know there are people who can identify Emily's killer or killers. Call the Homicide Squad or Crime Stoppers if you can help with this one. Police Chief Julian Fantino getting ready for his new gig as a bureaucrat tonight after turning in his badge and gun to close out a 36-year career as a cop. In his last public event, grade 7 students thanked him for getting their school a crossing guard. Fantino says he never intended to be a popular and never backed away from tough issues. His time as chief was controversial from the start, but he says he has no regrets.
If you don't want to be controversial, you say nothing, you do nothing, you be nothing, then there's no controversy. So I'm proud of what I've done, controversy or not. I've stood up for the tough issues, and I've spoken on what I believe to be the right thing for the right reasons.
Fantino starts his new job as Ontario's Emergency Commissioner tomorrow morning. For more on Fantino's career, check out our website, pulse24.com. No sign tonight of the mystery man spreading cheer and money in Etobicoke.
Sure. Can I get you anything else right now?
He walked into a Kelsey's restaurant last Friday night at Islington and the Queensway and started handing out $100 bills. Most went to customers, but 2 servers also lucked out.
At first we thought this guy probably counterfeit, probably fake, but we checked him out and they're good. So I guess he was just either in a really generous mood or he won the lottery or who knows. But it'd be nice to see him again and thank him properly because I didn't have a chance when he was here. So if he's watching, thank you very much. It was very nice of you.
Mystery money man was nonchalant about who got a $100 bill. Kelsey staff figure he doled out about $1,500 before he went on his way. Very nice. It won't cost you a thing to stay informed. More info on any of our top stories, it's always free and available on our website, pulse24.com. Coming up a little bit later in the show, lots of free eye candy at last night's Oscars. We'll give you the winner of the Fashion Wars.
Hi, I'm Jim McKenney, and coming up later in sports, we got the Cavs losing a heartbreaker at the gun.
You think you figured me out?
Oh, I got you down to a T.
You do
Oh, yeah.
not have me figured out.
Plus, we've never had sex. That's what it is.
Well, that's the key, and I say bravo to that.
You know when those other morning shows break up?
Yes, because they've had
It means
sex.
they slept with each other.
Yeah, I know.
That's what it is.
Remember your essays, please, and have a good weekend.
You can always tell which kid's family owns a Montana SV6. Introducing the brand new Montana, the SV6. It's the minivan designed for family adventure. Pontiac Montana SV6, built for drivers and their families.
New CoverGirl Smoothwear feels so nice, it's like sending your lips to paradise. Helps seal in moisture, seal out dry, and it's color you don't have to reapply. So if you're not wearing Smoothwear, can I ask why? New CoverGirl Smoothwear.
Flamboyant Sir Richard Branson launches a new Canadian cell phone service. See how he's promising Virgin Mobile Canada will turn the market on its ear. On Toronto's News, City Pulse at 6.
Her smell haunts me, with me, night and day. Natural, deep, and subtle, mysterious. Gouda for him. Gouda for her. Gouda forever.
The Princess Margaret Hospital Foundation Home Lottery, featuring a $2.3 million grand prize show home. It's a mansion. This luxurious, fully furnished show home built by Green Park is located in an exclusive gated community. It is absolutely beautiful. Get your tickets and you could be calling it home. The Princess Margaret Hospital Foundation Home Lottery. Still the biggest, still the best. Help conquer cancer.
All right, time to join Jim McKenney in sports. And are we actually talking hockey tonight?
Yeah, once again, I hope this is the end of it, though, Alex. Members of the NHL Players Association, they'll be in town tomorrow looking for some answers, and possibly they'll come up with some kind of a solution to end the lockout. No chance that the owners are going to budge. The players may have to call it a day. Our women's national team have dominated at the last 9 World Championships, looking for number 10 in Sweden in early April. They've got 16 players coming back from last year's squad, but it wasn't any slam dunk making it. Lots of talent out there these days. The veterans are finding it a grind.
There are so many girls, so many players in this country that are improving every day, and so every year it's a challenge to make this team. And I know that everybody is so proud every time they hit the ice with the national team. And it's exciting because there is so much depth in our country, and it continues to get better. So, I mean, it is a thrill for all of us here today.
The Raptors will take their 3-game winning streak on the road this week, starting in San Antonio on Wednesday. Jalen Rose jammed a couple of fingers in the last minute of yesterday's win over the Lakers. He worked out today, had x-rays. They were negative. He's ready to go.
Yeah, it was a major sense of relief. Went home, prayed about it, iced on it, and woke up today. The swelling was bad, but not too bad. Probably a torn ligament maybe, but not any broken bones.
The Spurs in Cleveland tonight. Tony Parker cruises into the paint and makes the deposit. LeBron James had 9 in the first quarter. This one wasn't pretty, but it worked. James to Ira Newble. Cavs by 1 at the half. Spurs went on a bit of a run. James with the bomb. Cavs right back in the thick of things. Tim Duncan, always tough in close. Hits the baby hook. Cavs down by 2 late. Inside to Ilgauskas. Game tied at 90. The Cavs broke down. Duncan with the free look. Bingo. The Spurs win it by 2. If the Blue Jays can add one more starter to the rotation, they could turn a few heads in the AL East this season. 2 weeks into spring training, they're conceding nothing.
People believe that being the Yankees or the Boston Red Sox is something you do overnight. There's only 2 ways to create an empire. With a lot of money or a lot of patience. So we don't have that much money, so we need the patience.
The best news the Jays' position players got in the offseason was the installation of an artificial surface at their home park. In fact, Field Turf has even installed one here in Dunedin for the guys to try out. In the words of team president Paul Godfrey, we want to tell our players it's safe to dive for a ball at Rogers Center. Well, the turf's safe, but I'm about 4 feet short of the bag here.
It'll be a lot more comfortable when I do dive, that's for sure. I didn't like diving on that stuff when the roof was open and the sun was out because I wouldn't have any more skin on my arms. So I like it, and hopefully it can just extend our careers a little longer.
The Jays have also increased the budget for players' salaries, so as the season moves along, they'll be a buyer, not a seller.
The most important thing for us is to get ourselves, in that position to where we're close. And if we can go out and get guys to help us, we can do that. So, it's important for us to get off to a good start and hopefully, leave ourselves in a position to where we do have those options.
The Jays open the regular season across the bay in Tampa. The home opener goes Friday, April 8th against the defending champion Boston Red Sox. Single game tickets are on sale now. I'm Brian Carey in Florida. City Pulse tonight.
Kerry called today complaining about the rain down there. So,
yeah, okay.
Can you imagine? Wait till he gets home.
Yeah, he's a girly man.
Perfect.
Okay, we don't want to hear it. All right, Jim. More City Pulse tonight. Still to come straight ahead. Train wrecks and elegance on Oscar's red carpet. We'll show you after this.
Did you know that Kellogg's Disney Pixar Finding Nemo fruit snacks are made with 50% real fruit juice from concentrate? There's Crush. And Dory. Even old Bruce. They're made with 50% of the real fruit juice your kids love. Kellogg's Disney Pixar Fruit Snacks. 50% real fruit juice. 100% fun.
Visit stjacobs.com for your chance to win a St. Jacobs Country Getaway.
You'll need twice as much time as normal for the commute tomorrow morning. Snow continues, heavy at times, along with a gusty wind. The full forecast is coming right up.
Careful, sweetie.
My wife's had some trouble letting go.
I'm a bit of a worrier.
As far as you go. Listen, you son of a... You'll never make it out of
But then we got Bell simpatico.
Everything changed. With his parental controls and antivirus included, I didn't have to worry about him surfing online.
She worries a little less now. A little less.
Safer internet is fun and easy for just $19.95 per month.
Nothing can thaw out the coldest time of the year in Canada, like Canada's hottest products. Look for the Chrysler 300 named Motor Trend's 2005 Car of the Year, or the all-new Hemi-powered Dodge Magnum, or the newly redesigned Jeep Grand Cherokee, and the entire lineup of powerful Dodge trucks. Now get 0% financing for 60 months, plus $1,000 finance cash on the Dodge Grand Caravan with available stow-and-go seating. Come in and warm up to Canada's hottest products and Canada's hottest deals.
In entertainment tonight, it is the day after Oscar, and the buzz isn't so much about who won what, but more about who wore what. Liz West checks out the annual fashion parade down the red carpet.
Hilary Swank looked swanky, making the boldest statement of the night in her long-sleeve high-neck sapphire gown. And check out that back. What nobody did this year is try to make a statement, you know, pull a Bjork, wear something unforgettable like this little number. Nah, all the ladies look very classy and very elegant.
Hi to Morgan.
Not a strap in sight. All of the fabrics save for the bottom of the dresses. And if I didn't know better, I'd say Sandra Oh, Emmy Rossum, and Renee Zellweger had the same one on. Renee, of course, needed to test drive hers first. That walk to the podium took forever. Black was the questionable choice of Annette Bening, Drew Barrymore, and Scarlett Johansson. Seems blue is the new black. Seen on Virginia Madsen, presenter Salma Hayek, and on Kate Winslet. Pastels appeared on Charlize Theron, who wore seafoam green, and the pale Kate Blanchett donned a pale silk yellow taffeta gown. Is there such a thing as too much bling? Well, not according to Beyonce, who might have over-accessorized just a titch during one of her performances. Even a stunning designer gown can be ruined. Beyonce ended up looking like, well, the famous chandelier from the Phantom of the Opera. I'm Liz West for City Pulse tonight.
But she can sing. And Canada had reason to be proud at the Oscars. Ryan, which won Best Short Animated Film, was directed by Toronto's Chris Landreth and features a work of students and grads of Seneca College's Animation Arts Centre.
So I said, you know, what I really want to do is make a film just with figures, walking figures. Oh wow, you got some. Oh wow, you got one of the original drawings.
Seneca College, Dave Bass and my crew, you guys know who you are. You're the most inspired and dedicated people I have ever worked with.
Very exciting. This is a great thing for Seneca College and a great thing for our students. It is, if we weren't on the map before for animation schools, we certainly are now.
And finally to the Academy for continuing to support short filmmaking in all its forms. I cannot tell you how cool that is.
Congratulations, guys. Let's go back to our weather guy, and nothing award-winning about the next couple of days. Harold?
No, it may not be award-winning, but it's certainly heavy snowfall warning for around the GTA and southwestern Ontario. Major storm moving up the Atlantic seaboard, a secondary storm center over the southern portions of the state of Michigan, combining together to give us lots of snow. Here's a look at our radar picture. Heavier snow moving into the area now as the feed from the Atlantic continues to increase. The wind will be increasing substantially over the next several hours, so expect the snowfall rate to increase slightly, the visibility to decrease, and by the time you're heading off tomorrow morning for work, there will certainly be about 10 centimeters on the ground, so your morning commute will be much longer than normal. A look now at our Skyview satellite shot of all of North America, and you see the one storm continuing to move up northeastwards along the Atlantic seaboard, moving up towards the New York City area by about 2 o'clock tomorrow morning, and the secondary storm moving towards the western end of Lake Erie. Those two combined will give us the east winds that'll bring in the snow overnight tonight, and a northeast wind that will pummel the western end of Lake Ontario tomorrow afternoon. So expect total amounts of 20 centimeters Toronto and 30 centimeters Mississauga, Oakville, Burlington, and Hamilton. A look now at the overnight temperature starting off around the western end of Lake Ontario. Snow continuing overnight with temperatures falling to -4 Toronto, Hamilton, and Niagara Falls, and tomorrow highs of -1 to -2 across the region, with snow continuing through the morning, tapering to flurries by the evening. Southwestern Ontario, snow continuing overnight, lows -4 Sarnia, Windsor, -5 London, Kitchener, Waterloo, -7 Goderich. Tomorrow, highs of -2 to -3, with snow tapering to flurries during the late afternoon. In central Ontario, snow continues overnight, but smaller amounts. Lows of -6 to -9 southern Georgian Bay in the Muskoka region, -10 North Bay Sudbury, and tomorrow the snow tapering to flurries by the early afternoon, highs of -7 in the north, -3 to -6 southern Georgian and the Muskoka region. In eastern Ontario, snow will continue overnight and right through the day tomorrow, heavy at times, lows tonight -6 to -10, and tomorrow highs of -2 to -5, the snow continuing there through the day, tapering to flurries tomorrow night. So a 7-day forecast. Snow. Tomorrow, tapering to flurries by evening, -2 the high. Wednesday, gusty northwest wind with flurries, an additional 5 centimeters possible, a high of -6. Flurries ending Thursday morning, then sunshine Thursday afternoon, -7. Cloudy on Friday and -1. Saturday, up to +1, but 5 centimeters of wet snow expected on Saturday. Sunday, cloudy and -2. Monday, more flurries and -4. Right now, the snow's starting to get into my eyes with the wind increasing. -1 at Pearson Airport, the wind gusty giving us a wind chill of -7. Alex, back to you.
Okay, come in and get warm. More City Pulse tonight still to come, including a recap of tonight's stories.
4 years ago, my life was put on hold. I didn't work, my income stopped. First, I wondered if I could afford to take the time to recover.
Critical illness and disability insurance from RBC Insurance gives you the money to pull you and your family through when you can't work.
Makes a big difference. Trust me on this one.
It's how we help put your health first. RBC Insurance, first for you.
Straight to your bones, from the farm to the fridge. We know what you want, 'cause we know how to live. We gotta think back, Bessie with the MILK.
If you missed Toronto's #1 morning show,
Dave Ward had Dating for Dummies. He learned how to gaze into a woman's eyes. Yeah. Dave, gaze do anything for you?
Actually, it did.
Yeah.
He's a cutie.
and on the next BT.
We'll have a full look at the snowy streets.
And have breakfast with a billionaire, Sir Richard Branson.
Breakfast television weekdays at 6 a.m.
Introducing the new Chevrolet Cobalt. Finally, a car that stands out.
Each night you brought a guy up on stage, you strapped him down, straddled him.
As soon as I set foot on the stage, I'll start combing the audience for a guy.
You picked the guy?
Yeah.
So I want to know how the guy got picked and how I can get in on that.
In 4 days, get ready to duck.
Hip it.
Walt Disney Pictures presents the first great family comedy of the year.
We're gonna be late.
Not on my watch.
Disney's The Pacifier. Starts Friday.
Now let's update tonight's headlines. Toronto bracing for heavy snowfall. 2 storm systems over the GTA could dump 20 centimeters of snow by midweek. Ontario's controversial pit bull ban legislation could be law by Tuesday. Critics say it won't reduce dog attacks. And Toronto councillors vote to keep job perks like free zoo passes while pulling an all-nighter trying to approve the city budget. Property owners will likely face a 3% tax hike. That is this edition of City Pulse tonight. Watch for more of Toronto's news on BT City Pulse at noon and 6. Until then, thanks for tuning in. Stay warm and safe. I'll see you tomorrow.
The Globe and Mail. It's not just news, it's a conversation.
all-new Dodge Dakota.
Nice, yeah.
With the only V8 in its class.
This is gonna look great in our bedroom. You are such an...
And the most overall interior room.
wonderful man.
Toronto's news is now #1 in Canada. City Pulse, the 2004 Gemini Award winner for Best Newscast.
Calling from Toronto. Good evening, Michelle. Hello there. Hello there. Bridget, you're on the air. You're on the air. You're calling from Markham tonight. Good morning. Phone call.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Health Edition of Talk Television. I'm Em Roskowski. If you're pregnant or thinking about becoming pregnant or a brand new mother breastfeeding your baby, you will want to pay close attention to today's show. What are the do's and don'ts expectant and new mothers should know? The Mother Risk program at the Hospital for Sick Children gives women the knowledge they need to stay healthy during their pregnancy and after, and how to keep their babies healthy and their fetuses. As we hear, let's begin with health specialist Laura DiBattista, who tells us that a new book written by the head of the program answers just about any question you might have.
No other adverse effect has been reported.
For 20 years, Mother Risk at Sick Kids has been counseling pregnant and breastfeeding women about what's safe to eat, drink, and take. Now, this advice is in a book.
We wanted to have something that women can go back and read.
We asked pregnant women what they most wanted to know.
I'm a big sushi fan, and I'm just wondering about the impact of eating both fish and raw fish.
Okay, we'll find out for you.
Sushi's fine. Sushi's fine. You can eat sushi.
What's your question?
How much coffee can I drink?
Above 150 milligram of caffeine, which is 2, maybe 3 if it's milder coffee cups. Don't do beyond that.
I'm 7 months pregnant, and I'd like to know if I can get a flu shot.
Flu shot is safe. However, I would try to provide it after the first trimester.
There's also a whole section in this book on natural remedies. For example, did you know that when you're pregnant, chamomile tea is a no-no?
Chamomile tea, which looks natural, but it does cause contraction of the uterus.
And there's also advice for breastfeeding women, like Lorraine Daly.
I'd like to know if it's safe to drink while you're breastfeeding.
Mother Risk have in our book guidelines how long after you drank, based on your body weight, it will get out of your milk. So the answer is you can, but use common sense.
Joining me now is the author of The Complete Guide to Everyday Risks in Pregnancy and Breastfeeding, the head of Mother Risk Program, Dr. Gideon Coren. Welcome to the program, Dr. Coren.
Pleasure. Thanks, Anne.
Okay, so we answered some very obvious questions. We will get into the whole aspect of the risks associated with over-the-counter prescription drugs, alcohol, all of that, chemicals, pollutants, that kind of thing. But when a young woman is thinking, or a not-so-young woman is thinking about having a baby, getting pregnant, what are the first things she ought to be thinking of?
First, everyone should look at their lifestyle. What is there that should be changed, if at all? One thing that doesn't come natural is the story of nutrition and folic acid, for example.
Acid.
Right. We didn't know it for many years. Now it's clear that if you take enough folic acid, which is a vitamin B, it's a simple material, you can prevent spina bifida and very severe malformations of the spine and the brain. This is something that 15 years ago, if you talked to me here, I wouldn't know.
Mm-hmm.
But that's very important news.
So should a woman then be supplementing or really amping up the diet with these B vitamins?
That's right. What happened, and we thought that probably it's enough to eat them. Unfortunately, it's not so easy. Most women do not get even half of what they need. Half of the 400 mics a day through normal eating. You have to really eat a lot of vegetables, green leafy almost
vegetables.
Be a rabbit. Most of us,
lentils too.
That's right. Most of us do not eat that.
Yes.
Now Canada, we are lucky because our government added it about 8 years ago to flour.
Flour.
But still, our studies in Mother Risk show that most women don't get enough of it. That's why we say if you plan pregnancy, start the multivitamin that the doctor would have given you much later.
Yes.
Start it then.
Right.
Yeah.
Even before you're pregnant.
That's right, because they do have enough folic acid.
They do.
That's right.
And then let's talk about those lifestyle changes that, you know, for some women, they might think, well, listen, I only have a couple of glasses of wine a week. How bad can that be for my baby, my fetus?
Yeah.
Is that a problem?
I think most Canadian women all the studies show, know that alcohol is a big no-no in pregnancy. That's not an issue. Most women tell us, once I planned pregnancy, I stopped.
Yeah.
The problem is that half of all pregnancies in Canada are not planned. Unplanned does not mean unwanted, but it means that many women will find out they're pregnant after 4, 6, sometimes 8 weeks.
And they've been drinking and smoking or doing a variety of things.
So then the book itself, but also in our counseling, we'll try to see how much. Is it problem drinking? Is it very rarely that you did it? But clearly, if you plan pregnancy, if you are among the lucky 50% that had the opportunity to plan, I think alcohol is a big no. You do not drink. If you plan, you do not drink alcohol.
Okay, you were also, it came up in Laurie DeBautista's story, if you are breastfeeding your baby and you want to have a drink, there are guidelines to that as well.
That's right. What we found out, and we did a big study that we published, and now it's part of the book, as the alcohol gets out of your blood, it gets out of the milk also, because the blood and the milk are equilibrating all the time. So we calculated, based on your weight and how much you drank, how long it will be before it gets out of your system.
And how long does it take? Let's say you're an average, let's say, I'll give you an example. I'm 140 pounds and I'm 5'5". Do you actually have a calculation in the book?
Yeah, I do. I will have to find it.
Okay, we'll find it during the commercial break.
That's right.
But
basically, it will be able to tell you, Anne, how long after you had 2 or 3 drinks, how long you should avoid breastfeeding. By that time, it will get out of your system.
So are you actually, and if you, let's say, you breastfeed regardless, so the baby is actually getting some element of alcohol in the breast milk.
And there's no benefit for babies from alcohol.
No.
In fact, too much of alcohol can be even dangerous, because babies, unlike you and me, when you give them alcohol, the sugar in the blood fall, and they may be even at risk. And of course, they may be sedative. Alcohol, nature was not invented
for babies.
Milk for having alcohol in it.
Yes.
But on the other hand, one has to consider that social life includes alcohol. 50, 60, 70% of Canadian men and women drink alcohol as part of normal lifestyle. So we try to accommodate that into the equation too.
Yes, because I would think that, you know, given the information and the knowledge we have now in the 21st century, I mean, I think that there were men and women certainly in the 50s and 60s, who were drinking and smoking with some degree of regularity through pregnancy, and we didn't understand the risks of those lifestyle choices.
Of course.
A lot of us are normal.
That's correct, but the studies show that in some cases this may not be good.
Yes.
And if there are other things that go wrong, this may be the last straw. So clearly it's true. Many women that smoke tell us, hey, everyone I know smoked and baby's okay.
Yeah.
First, you never know for sure.
Yes.
The risks are there. We can measure them.
Low birth weight is one of them.
And more complication around birth.
Yeah.
About 3 or 4-fold more SIDS, crib death.
More SIDS.
Yeah, which is a very, very terrible thing when it happens. So altogether, planning means to do the right things.
Absolutely.
And the fact that a lot of things were not known in the 60s, you know, there's no end for this. I'm sure a lot of things we're doing now, in 10, 15 years, we will know better.
Of course.
But we are as good as we plan and do the best for ourselves.
Dr. Corin, 20 years of mother risk.
That's right.
You've helped literally millions of women, have you not?
Well, the satisfying part is we talk to about 200 women a day. 200 from all over Ontario, Toronto, but then all over the country, coast to coast, and from all over the world. It can be Siberia, it can be China, and a lot of physicians too, of course.
Amazing. Okay, well, remember that Talk Television is interactive. We want to hear from you. If you're taking a drug, any kind of a drug, and you have questions about how safe it might be for you as a pregnant woman or for your baby and or for a breastfeeding mother, this is the man to talk to today. So call us now with your questions, your comments, and your personal stories. And here are the numbers to call within the GTA. You can dial us up at 416-872-CP24. That's 416-872-2724. Or from outside the area, call us toll-free. And that number, 1-888-863-CP24. You can also fax us, 416-593-6397. Or if you're on the net, send us your email to talktelevision@pulse24.com. We're going to take our quick first short break here on Talk Television. We're speaking with Dr. Gideon Corin from Mother Risk. Your questions when we return right after this.
Careful, sweetie.
My wife's had some trouble letting go.
I'm a bit of a worrier.
As far as you go. Listen, you son of a bitch. You'll never make it out of it.
But then we got Bell Simpatico.
Everything changed. With its parental controls and antivirus included, I didn't have to worry about him surfing online.
She worries a little less now. A little less.
Safer internet is fun and easy for just $19.95 per month.
The sale that Canada waits for is back. The Brick's famous Boxing Day blowout. Stop. If you missed it the first time, it's been brought back. Now till Wednesday only. The same incredible Boxing Week blowout prices are back as Boxing Week returns to the Brick. Everything is on sale. This 20-inch pure flat TV is only $148. Save $400 in this 52-inch widescreen projection television, just $13.98. The Brick's famous Boxing Day blowout returns. Now till Wednesday only at the Brick.
You destroyed Mrs. Martin's barn by accident?
Crazy!
11-year-old Daniel needed a miracle, and he found it in a dog. Daniel and the Super Dogs, inspired by a true story, winner of 3 International Film Festival Awards, and co-starring the world-famous Super Dogs. Daniel and the Super Dogs is the must-see family movie of 2005. Visit DanielAndTheSuperDogs.com, enter your favorite dog photo, and win fabulous doggy prizes.
Hey, little fella, gotta change your touch. What you thought was enough might be too much. See, it's more cushiony than ever before. With Charmin Ultra, less is more. When we say less is more, less is more. It's more absorbent than the regular kitten brand for sure. What you used to love, now you're gonna adore. Charmin Ultra, less is more. Cha-cha-cha, Charmin.
The 25th Annual Genie Award.
The Genie Awards are turning 25.
Take off, come on. You take off,
So that seems to be good.
They're old enough to know better.
The 25th Genie Award. See it Monday, March 21st on City TV, Star, and Bravo.
Welcome back to the Health Edition of Talk Television. I'm Em Roskowski here with Dr. Gideon Corin, who's the head of Mother Risk Program at the Hospital for Sick Children. He is also the author of this new guide, Everyday Risks in Pregnancy and Breastfeeding, and this is a remarkable book that every expectant mother should read. Okay, I asked this question of Dr. Corin. Before we get to you, Vanessa, hold on. A woman, pregnant woman, no, excuse me, she's had her baby. She's 140 pounds. She's had 2 drinks. And according to your ratio, how many hours does she have to wait before she can safely breastfeed?
That's right. On page 206, we have a whole table. If the woman is 140 pounds and she wants to go out to have, or at home have two drinks, it will take about 4.5 hours before these 2 drinks will leave her body, and there would leave the breast milk.
And leave the breast milk.
Sometimes 4 hours may be too much for a baby to wait.
Yes.
But you can express milk before. You can use a bottle for one feeding. And quite a few women do this.
Yes.
Some women even express milk and the husband or the father of the child feed at night.
Yes.
So this is not unheard of, and this is a rational way how
and a
to
safe
deal.
way.
That's right.
You can
That's
have a
right.
couple of drinks and still make sure
That's
that the
right.
baby's okay. Not giving the baby any alcohol in the breast milk.
Exactly.
Okay, let's begin with Vanessa from Mississauga. Hello there, Vanessa.
Hi.
You have a question for Dr. Corin.
Yeah, I'm just wondering a little bit of if I can get some information about dyeing your hair or highlighting your hair during pregnancy. If
Yes.
it's safe.
Are you pregnant right now?
Yes.
You are. And are you a regular hair colorist?
Yes.
Yes. And you'd like to keep it up?
Yeah, oh, well, it's kind of looking really bad.
You know what? And I've heard that too, Dr. Corin.
That's
that
right.
hair dye is bad medicine during pregnancy.
No, actually, the studies do not suggest that.
Is that right?
No, that's right.
That's
you
good.
see, what you put on your on the skin of your head, Vanessa, very little of it is in contact, and then the absorption into your system is very minimal, Vanessa. So generally we say to women, don't be martyrs on that. It's important to feel good.
Yes.
There's no reason to feel unwell, especially if it does not really have an effect. Actually, there are several studies on that, and even the people who work with these chemicals
yes.
in salons and so on, the hair dyeing and all the materials that we put, like
perms or the
perms,
chemicals that are used,
are not really a risk.
Oh,
If
well,
you
that's
have-
wonderful
if
to
you
know.
so
And the
happen-
fumes aren't affecting, they won't affect the baby.
That's right,
Yeah.
that's right. And of course, if you are a very anxious individual, as some people do, you may want to quit or to just skip the first trimester. Why? Because during the first trimester, Vanessa, it's where all the organs of the body of the baby are produced.
Mm-hmm.
Saying that, I do not mean to say that there is an effect, but sometimes when women are very anxious,
Yeah, it's just the first 3 months.
to be on the
Forget
safe
it,
side.
to be on the safe
That's
side.
right.
But,
I want to pass that.
but okay, good for you. And so you can happily and safely go and get
Thank
your hair
you.
dried.
Thank
You're
you
very
so much.
welcome, Vanessa.
Okay.
Let's get to Ellen next. Hello, Ellen. How are you?
Hi, fine, thank you.
How can we help you?
No, I was just going to mention that when I had my child, and this is in the 90s,
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was in the hospital they gave me beer or they recommended that I drink beer when I get home to help with the milk coming in. I wonder what the doctor would comment about that.
But that's Guinness. Isn't it a specific beer? I thought it was
No,
Guinness.
actually...
Any old beer will do?
Yeah. What Ellen says is correct. There is a common belief that alcohol helps to induce milk, and beer in many cultures, including Canada, you hear a lot of it. First, it was not proven beyond doubt.
Oh.
And second, we say now it's a no.
It's a no.
Because it does mean that alcohol go into your milk.
Okay.
And alcohol go to the baby. Do any of us want alcohol to be in our babies? Probably the answer, wall to wall, is no.
Yes.
So Ellen is correct. This is an example of how
Information
advice
has
was given.
changed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're very welcome,
Bye-bye.
Ellen. Thank you for actually. So that's now become something of an urban myth. It is a myth that the beer is good for the breast milk.
That's right. There are still debate whether it causes more milk.
Yeah.
Not everyone agree, and not everyone can show it. But clearly, I mean, why to put alcohol into your milk?
Yes.
It doesn't make any sense.
Counterintuitive, isn't
That's
it?
right, that's
All
right.
right. Let's get to Pat next from Toronto. Hello there, Pat. Oh, Pat's gone. Jane. Hello, Jane.
Hello.
How can we help you?
Hi, I have I'm nursing my daughter, and I actually have a really bad cold at the moment, and I went to the website to see if there's anything I could take, but I couldn't see something. Is there something the doctor could recommend?
You've got a bad cold. Is it just a regular cold?
Yes.
Jane? Okay.
Well, in general, Jane, most medications go into milk in very, very small amounts. And we do in Mother Risk about 40 calls a day out of the 200 are about medications in the breast milk. If you really need a medication for your severe cold, most of the antihistamines are not contraindicated.
Okay.
Now, the question, of course, there's a big debate in medicine, what should you take for cold anyway?
Usually it's viral, so
That's right.
it needs to kind of just play out in a way.
If you are really stuffy, if the problem is stuffiness, probably nose drops, which absorb minimally into your system, and that's why Jane will be very minimally go to the baby, make more sense to me.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
You're very welcome, Jane.
Bye-bye.
Can we, is Sarah next?
Yes.
Hello there, Sarah.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very well. Do you have are you pregnant, or are you breastfeeding, or thinking about it?
I'm not pregnant, but I'm hoping to have kids one day.
Very good. So how can we help you?
Yes, I'm using birth control,
Yes.
and I'm wondering if it will limit my chances for having babies.
Yeah. No, that's a very good question. As you probably know, Sarah, millions of women use the birth control pill. The birth control pill is safe. Some women, after having the pill for many years, may have problems with the menstrual period once they stop. But by and large, it's not a reason for a healthy woman not to be able to get pregnant. I'll tell you even more than that. Quite often, women get pregnant on the pill because they forgot to take one. There are some interactions with other drugs. And even then, even if it's taken into pregnancy...
Into the pregnancy.
That's right, which is not uncommon, as
Yeah,
you imagine. We must have 10, 15 such calls every day because women try not to get pregnant, but they are sexually active, and they got pregnant. Even then, the oral contraceptive pills, the hormones, are not causing damage. And actually, there are very large studies, including our own studies. So I think, Sarah, you can put your mind at ease, use contraception, and when the good time comes and you decide
when you're ready,
that's right.
You'll be in good shape.
You should be okay.
All right. Thank you for that call, Sarah. You know what? I want to bring up something. We're going to a quick break right after this, but this is something I want to discuss with you when we come back, Dr. Koren. Let's talk about HIV and sexually transmitted disease and its impact on pregnancy and post-pregnancy, because these are growing problems. And when women are sexually active, these are aspects, these are risks they need to think about. So we're going to take a quick break here on Talk Television. More of your calls straight ahead. So please call us now with your questions for Dr. Gideon Koren. We're back right after this.
Honey, I want a plasma TV.
This could happen to you. In fact, to over 25 million of you. Here's a tip. When rolling, always be aware of those around you. Embraces may occur at any time. Brought to you by Tim Hortons Roll Up the Rim to Win with millions of available prizes. GMC Envoys, Panasonic Home Theaters, Coleman Camping Packages, cash and food prizes. Please win responsibly.
The Princess Margaret Hospital Foundation Home Lottery. You could win fully furnished grand prize show homes, including a $2.3 million mansion from Green Park, or a stunning Monarch penthouse condo with views of Lake Ontario and Toronto. Luxury vehicles, worldwide vacations, home electronics. We give away more prizes worth more money than any other charity lottery. The Princess Margaret Hospital Foundation Home Lottery. Help conquer cancer.
Revitalizer, detoxifier, volumizer, enriched with liang liang. Come on, the more stuff you put in your hair, the more gets left behind. Today's Per Plus 2-in-1 rinses clean. No unwanted residue, no buildup, leaving hair lighter and livelier than the best-selling separate shampoo and conditioning system. And without any liang liang. For lighter and livelier hair, Per Plus. Beat this system.
Done.
Done?
With Taxtron, it's done.
Not looking forward to going to work today? Is it going to be another one of those days? You deserve a vacation. Go to iTravel2000.com. We've got thousands of vacations on sale each and every day. Now there's something to look forward to.
Welcome back to the Health Edition of Talk Television. I'm Em Roskowski today talking about Mother Risk Program at the Hospital for Sick Children with its director, Dr. Gideon Koren, and he is the author of this very fine guide to everyday risks in pregnancy and breastfeeding. And you answer questions about everything from morning sickness, medications, herbs, diseases, chemical exposures, and more. It's all contained in this book. I want to talk, before we get to our next caller, I want to talk about HIV, STDs, sexually transmitted disease, and the risks they pose to mother and growing fetus.
Yeah, of course, with a much more liberal society, sexual relationships are coming with a price, and probably our generation, more than generations before, see it with the HIV. People die from HIV. The problem is, if mom has HIV, often she may not even know, of course, that she's carrying the virus. That goes into the baby.
Yes.
And quite often we find it when we see at sick kids, a child with HIV after we don't know why he's not doing well, to find out that mom didn't even know. The good news is that if mom happened to be pregnant and be HIV positive, there are now good medications that will prevent the virus to go to the baby. And actually with treatment, we almost can bring to zero the risk for the baby. After giving birth, the general comment in Canada is, and in other Western countries, is not to breastfeed, because the virus also go into the milk.
Yes.
Of course, any woman should be tested for HIV, because although many women will say it's not my risk, I know, but you never know.
But you never know.
The biggest risk,
especially if you've been sexually active over a period of time.
Well, the biggest risk for HIV is sexual activity, which is what pregnancy is.
Yes.